morning. So it's been a little while since we've had to react to something that Slay said on a podcast, but it's time. Okay, so Slay, he's been on a podcast tour these last couple of days. Yesterday, he was discussing veteran presence and like veteran leadership in the Eagles secondary. So he was saying if he leaves, that Reed Blankenship would be that guy, that would be that veteran in the secondary, that guy that would be that veteran presence, that veteran leadership in the secondary. And he kept emphasizing Reed. Like he was talking for about 45 seconds and he said Reed's name about 5 times. Like he made it plain. It's going to be Reed. It's going to be Reed. Reed Blankenship, blank, Reed, the milkman, Reed. It's him, Reed. Like, he made it clear. He also mentioned that the Eagles could possibly go bring in another vet to the secondary if he leaves, if Slay leaves, for some veteran presence in the secondary. Okay. So basically, CJ Gardner Johnson didn't really like what Slay had to say. CJ Gardner Johnson followed up with some tweets, and he was saying, veteran presence is needed, don't get me wrong, but bro, meaning he's bro, but bro, what more veteran presence do you need when you got young guys that can hold their own like Q and Coop, and you got a crazy duo with me and Reed Blankenship, you know what I'm saying, and a great supporting cast. And then he named all the support guys in the secondary. He was like, let the youth go crazy here, right? Then he followed up and said, the last guy the last vet that y'all replaced me with helped y'all get that door in the wild card round. Talking about Kevin Byard. Like, y'all brought in a vet, and what did that do for y'all? Like, y'all brought in a guy with a lot of playing experience, a lot of tape, a lot of stats, and without me, y'all was a first-round exit. He followed up with saying that again, like, you know, take that route again if you want to and see what happens. So basically, I can understand why, after hearing Slay on that podcast, CJ Gardner Johnson might have felt some type of way, okay? I'm not saying, like, go on Twitter, but I definitely understand why he felt some type of way because Slay kept reiterating Reed. He never mention CJ and the amount of times that he mentioned Reed, it's like you was waiting on him to say somebody else, and he didn't. And I do think that CJ definitely deserves his flowers, especially in moments like that, because we know what CJ Gardner Johnson's presence has brought to this defense and what his presence has brought to the team. He's 1,000% right. Without him, we was a wild card exit. Like, without him, the defense was abysmal. You know what I'm saying? Like, we see, obviously we added more pieces when we brought CJ Gardner Johnson back, but we see when we had CJ Gardner Johnson, both times we had CJ Gardner Johnson, we went to the Super Bowl. When CJ Gardner Johnson was on the Lions, CJ Gardner Johnson went to the NFC Championship. CJ Gardner Johnson went to 3 straight NFC Championships. Went to a Super Bowl, NFC Championship, to Super Bowl win. Like, there's no belittling or there's no forgetting what CJ Gardner Johnson brings to defenses, and that's his presence. Like, that's the presence. That's that dogness. Like, you call it whatever you want, but all that, in my opinion, translates to leadership. You know what I'm saying? Like, when CJ Gardner Johnson is on the team, these boys stand up straighter. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely think, especially after winning a Super Bowl and what CJ did for us this season, like, you know, like, he deserves his flowers in those conversations. So I can understand why CJ was feeling some type of way after, you know, Slay, you know, going on and on and on about Reed and not even mentioning him. So, yeah. Me over here, I love CJ. And CJ Gardner Johnson, I trust. Okay? Never a doubt, baby. Never a doubt. Got CJ Gardner Johnson's jersey. And like CJ said, you know, you can always use a veteran presence. Like he said, I'm not saying that adding veterans isn't a good thing. You know what I mean? Like, if Slay does leave, if Slay does not come back, then of course we should bring a veteran in here to compete at that spot. You always want more competition, and obviously more guys with more experience usually is better, but we're not going to be bringing a guy in here because we're lacking leadership. Like if we bring a veteran corner in here after Slay leaves to compete, we're not bringing him in here because we need a leader in the secondary. We already got leaders in the secondary. We would strictly be bringing him in here to compete. You know what I'm saying? There's a difference. Like there's a big difference.